everybody. So in today's video, it's going to be a whole lot different. I'm actually going to be having a serious conversation, and this video goes more towards like my community and basically my hometown, because I have just been overall very disappointed with the comments that I have been seeing on Facebook and Twitter, just online in general. It's just been very crazy. And before I go into it and before I start discussing everything, I just want you all to know that I am in no way any better than anybody. I am not better than anybody at all. This is just me speaking out because I feel like who else is going to speak out for the community, because it's hard. And I also figured that I have a platform, so why not use it for good? So that way I could just inform others and maybe hopefully make people more aware and more understanding. So with that said, with what I have to say, know that I am not trying to bring anybody down or anything like that. I'm just trying to basically discuss the problems. I'm just trying to get people to understand, and hopefully they will have like a more open heart and open-minded type of thing, I guess I could say. This is why I'm doing it. It is just so crazy to me that a lot of the privilege down here is blinding everybody about what is going on around the world. Anyways, I just want to talk about the comments, a few that I have seen, and just discuss why I'm practically disappointed within my community, and know that this isn't an angry video or anything. This is just a way to get people to be a little bit more informed and hopefully maybe get their heart to be opened a little bit, because I feel like the valley could, I don't know, I feel like maybe it can change if we just better ourselves, because that's where change happens, is when we, better ourselves within ourselves, if that makes sense. So I'm hoping that this video will help educate some people. Okay, so there is this one comment that I have been seeing a lot on Facebook, and it has been, "Oh, you are being brainwashed." Because during a live protesting video here in my hometown, I have been seeing that comment a lot, and it is quite disappointing and a little bit irritating. It's not that we are brainwashed. Yes, everything is happening around the world. This is all the protesting, all the looting, and all the rioting. It is all happening. It is real, okay? Everything that is going on is real. It is not about being brainwashed. This is happening, and you need to be aware that it is happening, because it is happening, and it's a horrible thing that people are being treated unfairly due to their skin color. It's crazy, and it's crazy that we still live in a world today where history is just repeating itself, and it's horrible. And a lot of people that are colored, they do live in fear, because I have a friend who does live in fear because of the color of her skin, and it's truly sad and heartbreaking. And just because you haven't experienced any racism or anything like that in your life, it just doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, okay? So know that it is real, and it is truly happening in our world today. And be more aware about it. I mean, you need to be. That way it doesn't continue in the future. This is why you all need to be well aware of it. You need to open up your eyes, wake up. It is happening. It has nothing to do about being brainwashed. Now, there's another comment that I have seen on the post, and it was basically saying, I'll pull it up right here. I have it on my phone. It says, "Most of them never experienced racism. More or less, no racism." I just want to say, you cannot judge them thinking that they haven't experienced it, because maybe they have. Maybe they have traveled out of Texas, and maybe they've experienced it. So you cannot say that most of them haven't, experienced racism or even know more or less what it is, because, that's why they're there. Even if they didn't experience racism, they are already aware that racism isn't okay. That it's just not okay, period. They're well aware of that. So just because they haven't experienced it doesn't mean they shouldn't go and protest or anything. They're doing the right thing. They're aware of what is going on with the world. They're just aware that racism is bad and that everyone should be treated equally. So I mean, that's, like I said, that is why they're out there protesting. If they were not well aware of racism, even though it hasn't happened to them, if they haven't even experienced it, they still know that it is wrong because they've probably learned it. They've probably seen it somewhere, whether it's like movies, shows, history, even in school. I mean, they're well aware of it, and that's good. You know, we need that protest. We need that change, and I am just hoping that maybe people can be more open-minded to that fact, you know, because it is a factor. You know, being aware of it. That does play an important key. You know, just because you haven't experienced it doesn't mean that they don't know what racism is, because it happens. You know, we learn it. So that's basically what got to me too, was when people were saying those things, because you can't just assume that most of them don't know about these things, because if they didn't know about it, they wouldn't be out there protesting. Now, the other comments that really did irritate me, and it was just very disappointing, because it's just a lot of ignorance down here. Like, it is. And some of the comments that I was very disgusted with were the ones that were like saying, oh, like, the people are crazy and thanks for wasting my time. These people look ridiculous. That's all there was going when there was protesting. And I was like, wasting your time? If this is wasting your time, then why are you on here watching the protesters on this live video then? If it's wasting your time, then maybe you should just get off and reevaluate yourself, because it is a very, you know, what is going around the world is just basically a horrible situation. And if you truly think that is wasting your time, then you really do need to just reevaluate yourself. Because then you are part of the problem. Clearly, if you just feel that something like this, something so important that is life-changing, is wasting your time, then you are part of the problem. Because nothing is going to change if you think that way, if you have that mindset, if you just think, oh, this is wasting like your time, this is nothing, or it's not a big deal. Like, you are just part of the problem. Nothing is going to change with that, like, with that mindset. And yes, maybe they may look ridiculous to you, but again, at least they are making a change and they're trying to do something about it. They're not sitting here, they're not sitting down, you know, they're basically not blinded about what is going on with the world. They're actually getting up, they're doing something about it, because they feel that it is very important for this change to happen, so that way people can be treated fairly. They're just trying to get their voices heard, and that's important. Like I said, it may look ridiculous to some people, but it is an amazing thing of what they are doing to try to change something. Anyways, this is why I feel like in this area we will never grow and prosper. Because people just don't want to make a change, and they find it very ridiculous for people to do such things like protesting. And I think that is ridiculous. It is ridiculous to have that mindset, because, you know, like I said, if you think that way, there is not going to be any changes made within the community. I mean, we don't have really good streets. We don't have much good drainage either. Like, our hometown just gets flooded like really quickly because people don't want to act or like basically try to change things because they think it's ridiculous. They have that mindset, and it's just so ignorant and very stubborn, and that's why I feel like our community will just basically never grow and prosper, because of that mindset. And it's because some people here are just so blinded by their privilege, blinded by, you know, what's going on with the world. They're not really like aware. I guess I would say they're like a little bit careless. They're just, you know, that's why we can't really have any changes here. You know, that's why hardly anybody votes down here, because people just don't want to change things. They think it's nonsense or not that important, which is the biggest issue, and that is the problem. You know, that's the problem within our community and within the people. And it's sad. It's sad to say, and it's very disappointing. And here's another comment that I wanted to talk about with you all. one of the comments was like, why not protest what officials do to children and adults detained in those cages and the value people have there? Help your people out too. And there's other comments such as, what about ICE? Now the thing that I want to say to that is, why don't you protest? Because if you're complaining how protesters are not protesting about what is going on within our community, within our people, within ICE or whatever that's like happening, if you feel that there is no change within that, then do something about it. Don't wait around and expect people to do it for you. Stop being a follower. Be a leader. If you want change to happen, get up, just do it. Like, get up and just do it yourself. Because if you feel that change isn't happening within the community and you just feel like, you know, our people is being treated unfairly and you don't like it, don't complain about it. Do something about it. Get your act together. Stop waiting for someone to do it, basically. Because I've been seeing that a lot in the comments. They're like, why don't you protest for this? Why don't you protest for that? Or what about this cop who killed this and so? You know what I mean? Like, if there's something wrong and you don't like it, do something about it. Stop waiting for someone to do it for you. Okay? Like, I hate to say that. Like, I really do. And I'm not saying it like in an angry way. I'm just trying to, like, you know, question it. Like, it's crazy because it's just like, if you're complaining about something, you know, act on it. Do something about it. I mean, like, you're just gonna sit there and not do anything and expect someone else to do it for you? It doesn't work that way. Make a group. You know, tell them, be like, hey, I want to do a protest on this day because, you know, our people need help. You know, this isn't right. We're being treated unfairly. Do that. Call for action. Don't stay silent. Don't wait on anybody else to do the work for you if you want change. Just do it. I feel like Shia LaBeouf right now saying that. And here's another thing I wanted to talk about with you all. I was seeing a lot of comments of how amazed people were by how young these protesters were, because they were like, oh, like, these people are very young. And wouldn't you think about it? What does that say within our community? What does that tell you that the youth is actually trying to make a change and do something about it? What about the adults? What are they doing to try and help? What are they trying to do to make a change, you know, to make things be equal, you know, so that way people won't be treated unfairly, especially within the Black community? Like, what are they doing? If you see that there's younger people out there, you know, that are out there protesting more, what does that tell you? Like, ask yourself that. Anyways, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, which is so very important, was about the chainsaw guy. Because I've seen a lot of the comments and they are really disappointing because they are defending him. And I know some people like that don't live here, they probably don't know what the chainsaw guy is. Basically, it was just a guy who threatened these peaceful protesters with a chainsaw and literally used the hard N-word, and people are defending him. They're wanting to start a GoFundMe so they can bail the guy out of jail. And that's crazy to me, and that's really disappointing. Like, why are you going to defend someone who threatened peaceful protesters that are trying to make a change with a chainsaw? Like, why? And top it off, he used a racial slur. I don't get it. Because it's like, the fact that people are idolizing the chainsaw guy really shows a lot about the people. That there needs to be changes within ourselves and within our community. Because that's crazy to me how we're just defending someone like that. And this is why racial slurs continue, because nobody wants to stop doing it or, you know, make a change. They allow it. They continue to allow it to happen. Like, that's an example right there. They want somebody to, like, be bailed out of jail after using a racial slur and threatening protesters with a chainsaw. That is why these things keep occurring, because that's just basically part of the problem. Like, if you're defending the chainsaw guy, you really do need to reevaluate yourself. I'm not gonna lie though, the comments to the chainsaw guy, some of them are actually pretty funny. And you'll see why. The creativity of some of you all. Like, I just can't. It's way too funny. And another comment that I have seen, which I also want to talk about, I know I'm talking a lot, was people questioning, because they were like, oh, why are they still protesting? You know, George Floyd got his justice. Know that it isn't all about just George Floyd, okay? It's about a lot of other people in the Black community that have been treated unfairly for years, okay? Like, that's what it is about. There is so much other people that haven't had their justice. There is a lot, such as Breonna, for an example. I hope I said her name right. There is a lot of other people that haven't got their justice. Okay, understand that. It isn't just about George Floyd. It's about other people and how they have been treated unfairly for years, and there needs to be justice. There needs to be change, because everybody should be treated equally. It is not right that, you know, when someone harms somebody just because of the color of their skin, they get away with it, you know? They get away with it really fast. There's no justice on it. Understand that, and please be well aware of that. Be educated about that. And this is all I wanted to talk about on my platform, because I am disappointed within my community. I have been let down, and it hurts. It's sad. I've been so disappointed because I expected more. I expected our community and our people to be better, because I felt that we could all do better, but apparently not, you know? Be better, do better, and just educate yourself. Isn't that why we went to school? We were taught that racism was wrong. We were taught that in history class. And we've also seen it in shows and movies. We should know by now that racism is wrong, and the fact that people are saying that you are brainwashed with everything that's going around, like, no. And the fact that people are so stubborn and ignorant to realize that racism is real and it is happening. And it's crazy because, like I said, we've learned this in school. We should know this by now. It's real. It actually exists, okay? Like, that's insane to me. That just shows what has our education system been doing. If we cannot grasp that fact that racism is wrong, and, you know, everything going on in the world, all these protesters, you know, and all this stuff, like, if we cannot grasp the meaning of it, if we just cannot grasp, keep saying that a lot, but like I said, if we cannot grasp the meaning of what is going on, then, like I said, you're part of the problem. You know, reevaluate yourself, educate yourself. There's a lot of movies, there's a lot of books that will teach you about all these things, all about racism. Like, I'm so confused because we've been taught this for years in school. It surprises me. Like, what is happening? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And I'm sorry. I feel like within my community, we are not going to grow and prosper if we do not make changes within ourselves and within our community. And if we cannot grasp and educate everything that is going wrong, like everything that is going around right now in the world, then I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to grow and prosper. And this is why we have such a bad rep here, because of how people are. And it's sad. It's sad because we can't have nice things. We can't have such a better, like, community. We can't have all these other plans or anything like that because nobody wants to make a change and everybody's too busy being ignorant. And I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this video. I know it. I'm actually pretty nervous about talking about it, but who else is going to? It's just sad. I don't know what else to say. But all I can say is just do better and be better. Reevaluate yourself and just educate yourself. That's all I can say, because it's just really sad and disappointing. That's all I have to say. And no, to the Black community, I support you, and keep making your voices heard. Don't ever stay silent. Keep doing you. Anyways, that is it for today. Bye, everyone.